So this girl that I was coaching, she just landed a 100K salary in Canada. And you know why this is a big deal? Because this is her first job in Canada ever. And she's joined the automotive industry and she has zero automotive experience. This is unheard of. And here, I would love to take all the credit for it. But honestly, you have to give credit to that girl because she worked her ass off. I have not yet come across a person who I have coached who has worked this hard. And let me give you the story behind it so that you understand कि boss ये तुक्का नहीं था, इसमें genuinely time और मेहनत लगी है. So back in July, this girl reached out to me and said that listen, I got your reference from somebody who worked with you. So I am struggling and I haven't had a job in 7 months. I was like, damn. Are you getting interviews? She said yes. I said thankfully चलो interviews तो आ रही हैं पर convert नहीं हो रही थी, not a problem. And then this girl sent me her resume. We got onto a call and I realized that dude, she has some great credentials. Firstly, she's speaking well. Beyond that, she's an MBA, she's an engineer and यार HUL में काम करा हुआ है तो बड़े कंपनी में उसका so अच्छा एक्सपीरियंस है. But 7 महीने से जॉब नहीं लगी यार. So confidence is gone. And I know what not having a job for this long does to you because मेरे साथ भी यही हुआ था जब मैं कनाडा आया था. And that's the reason why I feel very passionate about this. Anyways, I don't know how this happens. That within the week, 10 days of us having had that conversation, she reaches out to me and tells me कि मेरी interview है with this big automotive brand where I'm applying for a marketing role. I said, fantastic. And then in that same breath, she was like, यार, what do you think are my chances? I said, you don't want me to answer that question. And she was like, why? I said, you will not like what I have to say. But she insisted. And I think as a mentor, my job is to be real, right? So I told her, you don't have any Canadian experience. You don't have any automotive experience. People from within the organization will be applying for that role. People with automotive experience will be applying for that role. People with automotive marketing experience will be applying for that role. So probably you have a 1% chance. And that is all that we need because when it comes to the market right now, or for that matter, anytime, yaar, when is it that we have had odds in our favor? And I think the best stories come when the odds are stacked against us, right? So this was the situation and the plan was that let's not get ahead of ourselves. We'll take each round as it comes and then we'll see कि हम कैसे progress कर रहे हैं. But I had promised her one thing, that I will stand by you through this entire process, but in exchange you need to promise me that you will work harder than you have ever done. She said yes, right? And I did tell her that remember this, that there will be a huge possibility that you don't get this despite this hard work. I was being a total prick and I would rather be that and show her the right lens instead of giving her any false hopes. So we were very much aligned on what needs to be done. Now, my process requires a lot of work and is very grueling and extensive, but I do feel that it sets us up for success. What we do is we frame, script, time, record, review all our answers. So I have seen exactly how much time I'm taking to answer that. I will look for the pauses where my voice is going up, where my voice is coming down, when am I speaking too fast, when am I speaking too slow. We will listen to our audios, we will watch our videos. We want to get everything right because also what's happening is that a lot of interviews, and for her especially, all her rounds happened online. So how do I transfer my energy and I still make you feel that I am on my game, baby? That entire thing I have to do. I don't have the person in front of me to feed off their energy. So this entire process is critical if you want to stand out. Long story short, we did this over and over and over again. Now, what happens is that she has a round with the CMO, which we were not expecting because we'd given a round with the brand director. But CMO interviewing somebody for a specialist position is unheard of. And it's a new process, so we can't do anything. Now, what is also happened is that I have felt so emotionally involved in this entire process, which usually I am not, because I can see this girl has put in so much of work. I want her to succeed. I want her to do well. So my wife calls me out and she tells me to ensure that I'm not so emotionally invested that I miss out on something, which is fair. So at that point in time, I reach out to my mentor and I ask him that I want you to interview this girl because I have been seeing everything, but the only one thing that I'm not aware of is how is she performing when she's talking to them in person, because yaar main interview ke liye to ja nahi sakta, right? So I wanted to just add that one extra layer where I understand how is she interviewing and I can give some real time feedback and I can test her in that environment. So my mentor very kindly agrees to it. And there are two questions that he asks. The first question he asks her is that why did you come to Canada? बहुत ही घटिया आंसर था उसका. मतलब I was like, यार जी तू बेइज्जती कराने वाली है. Going, she kept going in circles. Point पे आ ही नहीं रही. जबरदस्ती फालतू पे बोल रही है. And I was like, यार ये बेइज्जती कराएगी. ये नहीं मिलेगी इसको नौकरी. Because then what happened after that is that he asked her that why do you want to join the automotive industry? I think मेरे कानों से खून निकल रहा था. And I was like, बस कर, मत बोल. I think I'm glad that this experience happened because A, it was before the interview, so we had time to do something about it and ensure that we were prepared for the round with the CMO. At the same time, it gave me perspective as well that I can't take things for granted. There are people who probably need to work on this particular question, that why did you come to Canada? Iska koi right or wrong answer nahi hai, boss. What you need to remember is that you have to be short, clear, concise, and move on from there. Right? ये कोई magical answer नहीं है जो आपकी interview make or break करेगा. They're just a CMO is probably just looking at thought clarity, communication, because you'll be presenting to different people, stakeholders, and stuff like that. So they just want to see that who's the person and are they the right fit or not. Then there is the second question that we worked upon was that obviously why do you want to join the automotive industry? Of course, having come from a CPG industry, then what makes you make that move? Now you can't go and say कि मेरे को और कहीं पे job interview आई नहीं थी. So obviously there has to be a better answer, which we prepared. And I'm glad that that experience happened, like I said, because it gave me perspective. It gave me clarity of thought as well. Anywho, we prepare for these. We've got everything ready. Technical questions ready. We've got all the other questions ready. We are feeling confident. This CMO round happens. And the first question that comes in. So, why did you come to Canada? And the second question, why do you want to join the automotive industry? I am so glad that how this chain of events unfolded. My wife telling me to be more pragmatic about this, me going and asking my mentor to have a mock interview with her, to me being able to get the real time feedback on what are the things that we need to work on. And then that girl who worked extensively hard to ensure that she nails every single pause, every single beat, every single modulation note, and every single technical aspect of the interview that has to be covered. She eventually landed a job after being interviewed for 4 grueling months. Canadian market, 7% unemployment, the highest it has ever been in the last decade and a half. 15% youth unemployment, and after having been unemployed for almost a year, I couldn't be prouder of this girl who has gone and nabbed 100K job without any Canadian or automotive experience. There are people who are doing this. So don't lose hope. Your job is coming. The only thing that you need to do is ask yourself, are you ready for it?